Welcome to Walletopia. We keep coming across more Japanese wallets, and today we have another one for the review. Called the Thin Gusset by Fujitaka. It follows some similar patterns we've seen with other Japanese wallets and some other wallets outside of Japan. So let's get into it. Black box, silver inlay on this. It is a pull box. Now, one thing I want to point out here is what's called a hanko. That is essentially a signature, Japanese signature, and this is from the company called Ikite, and it is this is one of the brands of the Ikite Corporation. So it's something that is always fun to see when you get some cultural specificity in what is being designed. So it's a slider tray. We open that up, and I've tried to find out what this is called. It is a fiber, it's a very thin fiber type material. It's used in a lot of packaging. I don't know what this is really called. If somebody could let me know, put it in the comments, I'd appreciate that. And here is the wallet. Yes. It's navy in color, and this is calfskin. Very, very supple and smooth. We can see it has a zipper, and gusseted is what this is all about, so a gusseted zipper. It has opening, some snaps in here, so they're hidden from the outside. Let's see. Some paper, and let's see what we have here. Made in Japan. It talks about being made in Japan, there in Japanese. We'll come back and visit this yen amount here and what it means in a dollar amount. Oh boy, it's, we'll just wait till we get there. And some more information about the wallet here. All right, we get into this. Like I mentioned, this is a navy color. It also comes in two other colors, a black and a choco, or it's brown basically. So let's look at some of this construction. It is a wrap, because there are two different kinds of leather here that we'll talk about. Again, more gusseted is part of its name here for cards and cash. It looks like cash goes down into here, and it's a wrap. It really feels good. And the stitching, again, let's come back to that. Looks like we have reinforcement in certain places, which is good. And we'll talk about some of this construction, which is very common in Japan, where there is glue that's not sewn along with it, but they're all handmade. And this is not leather. I think this might be microfiber. We'll take a look at it. But boy, this calfskin feels amazing. You can see the blood veins in here, and it's not consistent, obviously, because this is really just coming from the calf. And the company mentions it has a, quote, stick to your hands quality of the leather. And calfskin is super soft to the feel, but there is kind of a little bit of a tooth for texture. It's not rough, but it does provide resistance. And it's not slippery at all. It's just something that you'd have to experience, but it is really wonderful. Now to the feature review of the Fujitaka Thin Gusseted wallet. On the exterior, we have a zipper. And this zipper is, in this gusset, they call a Fukoto gusset in Japan. I don't know what that means. I've never seen that in the language anywhere. It just might be something that's made up. But I like the gusseted nature of this because it makes it easy to get your finger and thumb there to get coins out. This zipper is unbranded, but I would imagine that it's being used or pulled from YKK, since YKK zips are originated in Japan. And if we open up the snaps, get this going, we'll immediately see that we have a cash wrap. So cash goes under here and then ends up down here. And I like that because it's not flopping out. So when you open up your wallet, it's secure. The cash is secure, it's just not flopping out. And I like that feature. If we move to the bottom, we have two card slots here that provide quick access. If you flip it open really quick, it's not a true quick access that we'd hopefully see on the exterior, which could have been done here well, but you do have your card capable pieces here in the interior. And with that, we have a feature review of the Fujitaka Thin Gusseted wallet. And for those who don't quite like the snap portion of this, it really does keep it secure. I don't mind these snaps. They're very soft. Sometimes you have very rough snaps, but this one is done very well, easy to snap open and closed, and it's not going to just come open by just flicking it. So now let's get on to the card and cash insertion test. All right, you saw I got 5 slips of cash, sometimes more, depending on the currency I was playing with in there. 4 coins, 3 cards, and so minimalist by way of card options. 4 is the maximum the company recommends, so really 4 is your max. I mean, 2 would be fine. This really is a slimmer wallet, and really in organizations countries that require more coins. I mean, this, you do have a coin here in the back. This really works well for Japanese in particular. It's designed and made in Japan, and it is a full grain veg tan calfskin leather, like I mentioned. Very supple to the touch. Excellent choice, I feel. And the zipper, as mentioned, feels really good. It zips open and close without any catching. Really quite nice. The interior does not have the characteristics of leather, but it is made from a full grain veg tan leather. It's kind of a Saffiano leather. Let me show you. This is a very typical leather pattern. It's a textured stamp pattern, cowhide, that's used in a lot of Japanese wallets and other wallets we've seen, but really almost all Japanese wallets demonstrate this. Now the interior is something that I mentioned here. This is a microfiber lining, and these are glued pieces. So the leather here is glued over in these spots here, and I've never heard anybody say that they pulled apart. The construction and the manufacturing, the craftsmanship that goes on in Japan is stellar, and it is something that you really can't be concerned about because it will really do well over time. One of the reasons they glued these pieces instead in the fold over is to reduce the bulk. Thread creates bulk, and they really wanted to reduce that as much as they can. It's all about keeping this a very slim wallet. All Japanese wallets really try and strive to be very thin and minimalist. Not in a minimalist sense, but very thin in your pocket. Now let's get to the pricing. It's $281. Sorry, I had to recover there for a little bit. Honestly, I feel like I'm going into different stages of death. It sells for 22,000 yen. At the current exchange rate, that's $212. The remainder is shipping costs. As you've seen over the time of our reviews, Japanese wallets, largely because of the exchange rate, are very expensive. As mentioned, the gusseted zipper pouch here, we have the coins still left in here, make getting to coins easy. This open gusset area, it just makes reaching in with your finger and thumb to grab coins. You can see them and know which one you're going to grab first. It's just a great design versus not, and if I put my finger here to try and get in, this just doesn't work well, and you're really trying to dig, and that's just not a good usability thing. Now, as we open it, cash is good. It fit all the currencies very, very well. Obviously, it was designed for the 10,000 yen. And because of that, that's even wider, even taller than the 1,000 yen that we see. And while it keeps it secure, like we talked about here, so let's go back to our yen, since this is what this is designed for. And again, all large currencies will work here. So you have the security, and if when you want to get to cash, you flip this out like this, and you get to your currency you want, you pull it out, and then you kind of flip it back under. It's really not too bad. For people who like to have open cash wraps, it's one extra step to you, but honestly, until you use it, it does become easy. You can just flip it out, pull the currency you want, just slip it under. It's not that bad of a function, really. Now, for the cards themselves, this was definitely not a wallet designed for lots of cards. And like I said, it holds up to 4. So you're looking at 2 in each of these slots here, maximum. And they are a bit gusseted. Getting them out is not a problem once it begins to break in a little bit. And it's just the right amount of friction to put them in and pull them out. So it's not a bad design. As mentioned, I do wish that there was an exterior card slot here. Honestly, it would probably work just fine, except that in Japan, for example, always you have a subway pass and you're going everywhere via subway. Tap pay is huge in Japan, so that's a bit of a concern. So now the measurements are 3.6 by 3.3 by 0.5. and it weighs 53 grams. Now, Fujitaka, as kind of mentioned right in the beginning, is one of 27 brands owned by Ikite, and as I showed you on the box. And so, despite it being one brand is part of a large brand, it's actually constructed really well, as are all of the Japanese wallets we've seen up to this point. So now let's get into the final score. For quality, a 5. Price, a 1. I'd almost give it a -1 if I could. 0, but that doesn't work. Features, a 4. Usability, a 4. And perception, a 3. It gives us a score of 36 out of 50. Thanks for entertaining yet another Japanese wallet. The pricing on this, if you can afford it, they're great wallets. It just sometimes becomes a little excessive. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you in the next review. Bye.